pictures are not in order, so I'm going to jump from one area to another. Okay.
We're good.
Okay, this is my parents, Glenn and Jeanette Knight, and they bought a place in early 60s. And this was their first cabin. And Christine, is Christine here? Her parents, Christine Appelhans, everybody probably knows her. Her parents and Frank went to high school together, so we've been friends all this time. And when we were all first married, we came up and stayed in this little cabin.
And that's on Spruce, so it's across the river, just on the other side on the way to,
Anybody know where Doc Lee's house was?
That's coming up.
we're gonna see that next. There it is.
Okay, this was Doc Lee's, and he was the sheriff. And I'll tell you two things on him that Frank told me that was funny. One thing is, what's your name, Celia?
Seal.
Cecile.
Seal.
Seal, she called the plumbing company one time and wanted to know if they'd come give her an enema. She had a drinking problem. Doc had a drinking problem too, and he always carried about Southern...
Sunnybrook.
Sunnybrook.
I'll find a Sunnybrook right on the 61 Ford station wagon that had a bench seat, and he always had a little bottle of Sunnybrook on the side. Sheriff.
Yeah, he was the sheriff. Okay, well. Okay, this is now Kay's home where Christine lived. This was my parents' home after they had the little cabin, but the old picture will probably come up. This was, whoa, go back. Okay, this one, we'll show you the old picture. This was at the Pine Cone, and this is Justin, and this is Travis, and Travis played Toto. Oh, the Pine Cone is where Charlie's is now, and that was the old theater.
Parking lot.
The parking lot was where the theater was. And I have to tell you a quick story. Justin wouldn't get up and go up for his audition, and he was embarrassed. And Travis gets up and he yells, "Justin, your mouth's always going at home. Get up there." Okay, this is the old house, okay? That's the old house. That's your house now. And that's Frank, and the boy there on the motorcycle was, he was our exchange student from Brazil. His name was Cacao. And that's Justin. But that's your old house, Kate.
I can't believe it. That's crazy.
Okay, this is the gazebo that the town donated the land for Justin. So that's where he used to water ski from, so. Okay. Frank's been doing this for how many years? 42? And so now Travis then joined him, and now Trustin's in there with him too, so. Okay, this was, now it's the community church. Now that was Sombrero Stables. This was Louie and Gladys's dry cleaners and Heckert's cleaners. And Louie always went to every dance and everything with his Hawaiian shirt on and his tap shoes. Okay, this is, well, it's Kurt's now, but it was Patty's. Help me, Donna.
Yeah, Patty's, yeah.
Patty's in it. When you went in the winter, we moved up here. He put blankets all around, just in one room you could eat because it was so cold. And he had an old box that did this wicked laugh like a witch. And when Justin was little, Patty would turn that on in the kitchen and to entertain Justin while we ate. And this was Dorothy Howard's house.
Yeah.
And that's, when her parents, didn't he work for the Forest Service?
Yeah, that's Clarence.
Yeah,
Fred
part of
Clarence.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that was the build of the lumberyard, yeah. What was it called?
Park Lumber Company,
Yeah.
Park Lumber.
And who were the all the owners of Park Lumber?
I don't know. They were pretty big. They had one in Granby, one big one in Denver.
But yeah, John Hurley, you're right.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Hurley bought it afterwards. Hurley bought it from
Did
Park.
Han have it
No.
before Hurley?
I don't know. It might have been. I don't know.
When did it come to Hartford? How many years?
Oh,
Well, that's a new building.
The old building used to be an L shape where those trees are in the east corner there, that's fine. But that's where all the lumber and everything, and you drive into that yard and then they had a retail sale and it was all gated up in the front with fences.
I don't know the part of it you want to front.
okay, Susie knows this place. And this was Neil Haight's garage. And I'll tell you a quick story on that one. Neil Haight had his garage here, and Barbara Spitzmiller and Fred DeKoven had a car exactly alike. And Barb went in to the drugstore, I'll show you that when we get there. And Neil went in to Chuck Hole to eat breakfast. Well, Neil came out, got in Barbara's car instead of Fred's because he was working on Fred's. So he took Barbara's car back to the shop. Well, Barbara come out and her car's gone, so she called the shop and told them someone stole her car. Well, it was a mess for a while.
We contacted the park, we contacted Granby, everything. We thought he was headed out of town.
Okay, this was, that's Clyde, wasn't that Clyde and Grace's?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
That was just
That's
a
their
yard.
Yeah, that was-
Just a yard.
That was an open yard with
Big
some
lawn
old
there.
garages in there.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you one then on Clyde and Grace, they were really characters. And when Clyde passed away, I saw Gladys walking down the street and Grace walking in having his pants and shirt on. So I told Dottie Dorr and Mary and Bussy, I said, if you see me walking down the street in Frank's clothes, shoot me right there. Okay, that's Barbara. And what was Winter's daughter's name, Will? Martha.
Martha.
Marta, and that's Gordon, and he's holding Travis. Yeah, Marta Zick.
Okay. Now Lake Theater,
Huh?
where's that
It's
at?
here, right here.
Right? Yeah.
So is that the fire station in the back there?
The fire station is where the library is. The fire station was below and the library was
What is it, that's
upstairs.
the fire station in the back and then that little shed that was behind the fire station?
Oh, I can't.
So
I can't
that's it.
tell.
Maybe that's on Park Avenue, that picture?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, so the Lake Theater, that was the movie theater.
Yeah, that was
So,
this.
yeah.
That was this.
So this was the movie theater, not the live theater. So this was whenever it was a movie theater for decades, right here in this building.
And you only had it in the summer.
Right, yeah. And they have the plush red velvet chairs out there in the lobby, you can see it. Yeah.
Now, they needed it in the winter for people to go. That's why they needed it.
Yeah. Oh, okay, this was the rustic stables, and Rocky Garber was the mayor. And they had the stables below. Oh, look at that, okay, that's the cabins that, I have to tell, they're not here, they're
They're
dead,
not,
so
no.
I can tell.
No.
These are cabins. This, the guy, she came up here, Doobie?
Doobie.
He had a girlfriend, and she was cute. tiny little thing and really pretty. And she'd go to the grocery store every day, but she got X-Lax. That's why she was so cute and tiny, and the Mountain Foods couldn't keep X-Lax in the dog. I should get some. Okay, this was Jerry Beals. Sinclair Station. And Jerry and Bev had a house on the lake. And I don't know who has it
Glad
now.
Harbor.
Huh?
Glad Harbor's house.
Glad
Glad Harbor's house.
Oh, okay, well, and Jerry was, he was just a hoot and a half. I pulled in there one time and he had, when the station had covered and it was raining, so I pulled in there and Jerry come out and I said, I don't want gas, I just want to park under here because I don't want to get wet. He kicked me out. That's Gordon and Travis. I dressed him as Frank for Halloween. Frank smoked cigars, and dummy me didn't take the paper off. And at school, when the school had the Halloween party, this little boy comes out and he said, Mrs. Appelhans, Travis is puking everywhere. Because I took the paper off that cigar. Okay, I'm lost.
That's part of the Sinclair Station.
Oh, that's the bank now. That was part of the Sinclair Station, yeah.
That building is there.
Okay, and that is
Dallas Hana.
Dallas Hahn holding Travis, and they used to, well, I think they still do bring the fire trucks down and give all the kids a ride at Christmas. Oh, Bob Scott.
That's a recent.
And I forgot the story on it, Bob. Do you know it? Dick Stacers, yeah. Wasn't it Dick Stacers, Bob? Yeah.
Kachina.
Yeah, Kachina Trade, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was
The blue
the Blue
chalet.
Chalet, yeah.
You wouldn't be able to
We painted it blue, that's what we call the Blue Chalet.
Not blue there though, huh? Okay, and this was the stagecoach. That was Peppers, yeah. That's where all the winter dances and everything were held. Okay, that little building there, I remember Chuck and Patty Wolf had a little grocery store in there. Do you remember that, Donna?
That's right.
Yeah, a little tiny grocery store. That's where you bought the house from, Kay. Yeah.
Yeah, they made sandwiches and all the teenagers worked there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and this was, he was the mayor,
John Petty.
John Petty had it, and there, it was a motel, and in the center, it had a swimming pool, which I forgot about, and Donna reminded me of it.
In the side?
I think it was called Lakeview, wasn't it? Lakeview.
Inside. I don't remember what it was called.
I don't either,
Yeah.
but,
But
and
swimming
it,
pool.
Donna and I were talking, they put a Chinese food in there, and it didn't last too long though, did it, Donna? But
No,
boy, we
but
thought,
I would like to have it back.
yeah.
It was like a 50s diner restaurant, and that's where Charlie and Marita started out when they came up with El Pacifico. They started in there,
Yeah.
and then they operated in there for like 4 or 5 years. Then they moved over to
I did not know that.
Stagecoach.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you remember more than I do. Yeah. Okay, and years ago, that place used to be the Hurricane Hut. And it was like a 3-2 place. Oh. And my girlfriends and I, this was back in the 60s, we came up here to stay in the cabin. Well, we didn't, I don't know how we wound up going over Trail Ridge, and it was late at night. We went right through Grand Lake and wound up in Granby and couldn't figure out where Grand Lake was. It was dark. And then from that, it turned into the Corner Cupboard, which was an awesome restaurant. Really good food. Okay, in Humphreys, everybody knows that. But upstairs, Helen had a beauty shop, and she was in California, and she worked at that Betty Ford place. She had a beauty shop there. But she was a, I can't remember. Do you remember Helen's name? Do you, Will? Do you remember her?
Coach, yeah.
I can't remember her last name, but she was...
She worked for the Red Door Salon in Scottsdale.
Oh, that's what it was, yeah, Bob. What was her last name, do you remember?
No.
She cut Johnny Carson's hair and stuff, like she had been.
Oh, yeah, she...
Yeah, she had a lot of celebrities.
A lot of celebrities, yeah. Johnny Carson, she cut his hair and all of them. She'd come here in the summer and then go back there in the winter. And this was Caswell's, Betty and, what was his name? Bill Caswell's, and they had a gift shop in there, but they also had a bakery.
Yeah,
And Frank didn't remember that, but I remember the bakery.
Did they have the silver spoon or golden spoon? Was that
Yeah.
Maxwell?
Golden Spur and the Gallery of Western Art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul McDonald had a restaurant in there briefly in the 60s.
We had it on the other side of the street.
No, he was in the west side of that building.
Yeah, this, oh, so that's
Was
the
that
one that
the
was
Golden-
called
Mistake.
the barn. Oh, Mistake, that's it, Mistake. So this is just Paul, not his folks.
Oh, okay.
That was just Paul on his own. Mistake.
Okay, and everybody, this was the Pine Cone, and that's where the theater was, and
With Little Bear or Big Bear or something.
Little Bear.
what was it?
Little Bear.
The Little Bear, yeah.
Gene and DW had it, yeah.
Yeah, they had it.
Did they have Voltaire's in there too at one time?
Voltaire's was on the end where the parking lot was. It was a steakhouse on the,
Yeah.
yeah. But at that very end down there's where he put Voltaire's in.
Is that where Travis got his acting started?
So that whole theater is where the open parking lot is at Charlie's now.
Yeah,
That's real.
yeah, it's, yeah, from where that,
Right. And,
all the way down, yeah.
and it was Dougal who ran Voltaire's, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dave Dougal opened Voltaire's, yeah.
What year was that picture taken?
That was in the 70s, like
Yeah, probably about there.
probably late 70s. Do you remember, Diane? Do you remember, Bob, Voltaire's? Wasn't it the late 70s?
71. Dougal.
That,
No, it was later than that.
it was later than that because he had Dougal's in and then he opened Voltaire's. I can't remember what, sometime in the 70s anyway. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a winter carnival.
Is that Frank driving the Wade running? Or
I
that's-
don't think so, but I keep thinking that St. Bernard was ours, but we had one then and I.
That's Frank in a sailboat.
Okay, this was Winter Carnival, and that's Justin and Robbie Hahn. They had the Western Riviera, and I made them those little costumes to ride their kitty cats down. Same thing.
Now, if you go, like,
Okay, that's the corner
where are
where,
those trees, like when you look at the landscape, where would that have been?
somebody help me, I don't know.
Is that one of the back, is that Park Avenue maybe?
Well, it has to be on Main Street, doesn't it? No, it can't be.
They're probably lining up for it.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
like
so.
Sunborough Stables would be.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's where the end of Charlie's is, where the pine cone, before they tore it out.
What was gonna be developed there?
What was gonna
Do
be
you
what?
remember what the plan was, what the development?
Does anybody remember?
I do.
Oh, Donna does, of course.
So the town hasn't gotten over this yet, and I think that's why they were hard on developers all these years. It's because George Pierce had these big plans for condominiums, and I still have the plans from like 1980 or whatever that was in the Sky High News. It was all written up. It was going to be fabulous. And it was going to be condominiums right there where the parking lot is, and then all along down below where the restrooms and the parking lot is now. And so George went in and he tore down the Pine Cone Theater, and then, I don't know what happened. He ran out of money, nothing ever got built. And the town never got over it. And they've tortured the developers for years after that. But I can understand why, you know, because that really hurt everybody to have that building gone for no reason, so.
Hey, Donna, wasn't you should put in underground parking, as I recall, that was
A later developer.
Okay. Is that yes? George?
Easy to do.
Okay. Yeah, that was Boot Hill. It was, hi, Heidi.
Karen?
Okay.
It was,
Boot Hill, and then it was,
Brewer, the Brewers.
no.
Who
Oh,
built-
did Brewers have?
Yeah,
Boot Hill?
Brewer.
Yeah, and then Pat and she turned it into a clothing store. Remember that?
That one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then she moved down to
okay.
the Red Sled. Yeah.
Who built that building?
Don Peter's fan.
Will.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Who built
I
that
didn't
building?
build it.
Well, I didn't build it.
He had both, yeah.
Okay, that was the Chuckle Cafe, and Al Dorr built that. And Al Dorr just passed away in this last year. And,
Great breakfast.
oh, awesome breakfast. And Dottie made homemade pies that were really good. That was Charlene's gift shop. She had the most awesome gift. She was a nun, and she had the most gorgeous stuff in there. And this one time, went down there, and I wanted Anna Lee dolls. Well, like we couldn't afford them. Well, he went in and got me an Anna Lee, and I've still put it on the tree. And he put pennies up on the counter. Well, it was like 12 bucks, and he had like 6 cents. And this lady offered to pay for it. And Charlene goes, nope, he's got just enough. And she never, I went in to pay her, because I knew he didn't have any money. She wouldn't take it. She was a sweetheart.
Sister.
Oh, yeah, she was Johnny Holsworth's sister. Do you remember Charlene?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, she was the neatest gifts. This was the drugstore, and Vic Sovereign had it, and this is where Barb went in when she lost her car. And then Ken, it's Ken Lackland had it. Okay, that was my brother's place. My dad bought it for him. He didn't get it himself.
I can't tell what his name was and what they called it.
Dave Knighton, and it was the Rockin' K.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And this was Zick's grocery store. And upstairs there was rooms, they rented the rooms. And then it was, what's it?
Enchiladas.
Enchiladas.
Yeah, and Bob King had it. Bob King had it,
And
yeah.
the gift store from Miyachi's, that little gift store.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Jim, yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
And Bart Stemple was the one who put the old jail doors.
Oh, yeah,
So, and then they're still there, I think, at Sagebrush.
The
So-
town gave them the jail doors.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
neat. Tell that your dad owns the building.
Oh, yeah, my dad owned it. He bought it from the Six. And he had it for a while, and I know we were living with them, my folks at the time, and I had to clean those rooms, and that wasn't fun.
Didn't you put up that railing?
Yeah, he put up that walkway up above, there never was a walkway, all the rooms had to be, you got in from inside.
From the
and went into
inside.
it. So he put the walkway all the way around, and then put the doors and stuff on it.
Was that kind of a trend for a while to cover the boardwalk? Like, what did that have to be
I
a
think
debate?
it was more so those
now?
rooms you could get out, you know, instead of going up that hallway. Yeah,
What
John.
year was that, Linda, about this?
That was before he was born, so it had to be like 74, 75, somewhere in there, yeah. Okay, that's Kathy Cox
Oh.
and Travis and Gordon. Yeah, that's in this building here. Okay, this was the post office. Yeah, this was all the post office.
And then before you go to this one, go back, Will. So Barb worked at the Scandinavian Coffee House.
Oh,
So
yeah,
let's
yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
we forgot,
that.
that was on the far end of it, wasn't it?
Gift shop, and then the post office was in the middle,
And then, yeah, and then the Scandinavian,
Right.
oh, and that,
Victoria Osborne, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
that was with Swedish pancakes with lingonberries.
So,
Yes. Okay, and of course, that was the foghorn. And Frank's folks bought that, there should be a picture of them. They bought that in 75?
yeah, I think so.
I think it was 75. Frank's dad, his brother, and Frank went in and bought that. And, oh, yeah, I was gonna tell that. What, that was 76, 77, because he was born. The Hells Angels came in town and took the whole town over. Weren't you here then, Susan?
No, but I heard stories.
Yeah, well, they took over the whole town. And some girl, in the foghorn then, it was Grumpy's though, she went behind the jukebox and stripped. And she ran through all the crowd, ran outside, jumped on a bike, and cut her fanny wide open. So she,
Wow.
and I had brought the kids down, my sister-in-law had her 2 kids. We came down to see what it was like. And what a mistake, because all those guys took our car and was bouncing it and throwing it, and the kids were screaming. Well, once I got out of there, we got our fanny home and stayed there. It was scary.
They shut the whole town down.
Oh, they shut the whole town down.
Oh, yeah, we didn't have, I think we only had, I don't remember, we only had one sheriff and he had a deputy. And I think they called the county in to help them. And they just still didn't have enough people because they were taking over, they were stopping cars on the street. And so they finally had everybody shut their businesses down, everybody shut down, everybody closed up.
What year was that, Frank?
That was 76, 76 or 77.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have, we were at the bar there, we had some, I hired 3 big loggers to watch the door and help us out, but they kind of blended in with the rest of the bikers. And so we got a call from Dallas Hahn. He was at the Western Riviera, and he had asked us to go over and meet with him, so we went over and met with him. And they had Jefferson County Police, what do they call them? They're not,
National Guard?
well, they were temporary, but they were volunteers, I guess. And they called them in to come out to do this. We were the only business that was open at the time, and they asked us to close it down. So we went back to try to close it down. That's a little tough. So just tell them, they're making us close down, they shut us down. So everybody kind of finally worked their way out, got out of town.
Here,
And
Barb,
then
They were riding around their town on mopeds. I remember they had little bitty mopeds, and those Hells Angels guys had these big Harleys, and it was so funny because they were so little.
Anyway, once they all cleared out, then they shut the town off, blocked it off. They wouldn't let anybody come in. It was quite a deal.
While we're talking about the bars and everything, I gotta tell you one on him. He went to Kremling and bought a new truck from a car dealer over there. Well, coming back, he and the guy that went with him, they stopped at every bar from Kremling all the way here. Well, they parked the truck and they continued to hit all the bars up and down Main Street. Well, they came out and Pat Antonio was the sheriff then. Well, they come out and their new truck was gone. So Frank called Pat and he said, "Pat, I just bought a new truck and someone stole it." Pat said, "I'll be right there, Frank." So he comes down, he gets Frank and Rex, and he drives down here to Grumpy's. And he said, "Is that your truck, Frank?" And Frank goes, "Yeah, yeah." Well, he goes to get out, and Pat goes, "Oh, no, no, you're not driving my truck." So Pat brings him home, and we just lived behind the Mountain Inn in that little house back there. Well, I hear the front door open, and I hear thud. Well, Pat brought him home, opened the front door, just threw him in. He landed on the floor, and he stayed there all night. Okay, that was the Terrace Inn. Ruby, Estes, and Lowell had it. Oh, no, before that was, Nell Polly had it. And it was a little, like a cafe and everything, really good food and just real small in there. And then Ruby
You could eat
bought it.
upstairs too, you eat on the
Oh.
upstairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When,
And they had the glass enclosure down there.
well, Lowell fell off of there and fell in this tree. Remember that? What was he doing? He was doing something and he fell off the story up there and landed in the tree down here.
So they lived behind it, that was their house, behind it, or?
They lived upstairs. Well, this was a gas station.
Texaco gas station.
Yeah. Who had that, Donna?
Johnny Paul.
Yeah, Donnie Falk. Okay, yeah, that was a gas station. Of course, now it belongs to the theater.
Then it was a Yamaha dealership.
No.
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah.
Was it Yamaha?
Was it Yamaha?
That's the Lily Put in the background, and that's Ultimate, or Gifts Unlimited right there. So that's at the park looking, you can see Humphreys in the top.
Okay, I'm gonna tell a couple of stories since we got Santa Claus here. Gordon played Santa Claus every year till he couldn't do it anymore. And people would call the plumbing company and get their name on a list. And he'd come to your house and you'd put the presents outside. And then he'd bring them in and give them to the kids. Well, Travis, of course, was older then, but... Oh yeah, the sleigh was all red velvet, and that belonged to Ken Winters. And his daughter played the elf. And what Ken usually drove the snowmobile till Bill did later, pulled it with the snowmobile. Well, one year he's at our house, and when he left, Travis looked at Justin, he said, "Justin, do you know that Gordon has a nose just like Santa's?" Well, Gordon's nose had been frostbitten so many times that it was bright red, so. And then Gordon, later, when Barb couldn't help him get dressed, he would go to the preschools here, and they had one down at St. Anne's. And I helped Gordon get his Santa Claus suit on and take him down there, and we went in and he'd sit down, and the little kids would get in his lap, and he'd go, oh, ho, 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 and what do you want for Christmas, little boy? So the kids all told him. The next day, it was a different set of kids. So I took him back, and he went in, and ho, 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 and what would you like, little boy? Well, Bill Zick's little boy, I can't remember, do you remember which one it was? One of them said, I just told you yesterday, I knew you'd forget. Well, we didn't know there was another little boy repeating the next day. What else on board that? Oh, he was such a hoot. Remember any other Christmas ones on him that?
No, he used to have a red light on a double track snowmobile, and they'd come down the road, and you couldn't wait.
Oh.
You know, you just wait all night for him to come, and yeah, it was really neat. He'd just go through all through town with a little, like a red siren on a double track. It was a fire department.
Yeah.
They pulled that sleigh, and it was a big deal. It was fun.
Boy, he would be out till midnight every Christmas Eve. But when he'd get to our house, Frank would have him a drink with a straw in it, because Santa wasn't supposed to be
A
drinking.
couple of other people did too. He was a little.
Yeah. And Chuck Downing built this, and it was the Circle D. Yeah. And the first year they built it, they did a Halloween thing for all the kids in town, so they could parade through. They had spotlights out there, and then they gave prizes for the best costumes. And this was Columbine Realty,
Columbine Lake Realty, yeah.
wasn't it?
It was.
And that's, then it was Mountain Mongols here for a while. Oh, okay. Now I have to tell you. When we first moved up here, we rented a little cabin out on 34. And we moved in October up here. And it started snowing. Well, Fred and Gay closed the grocery store, so you had to go to Granby. So I went to Granby to go to the grocery, and this windy little road to get back up to the cabin. And I got stuck. And I guess Justin was about 3. And I just leaned over the steering wheel and started crying. And he poked me and he said, Mommy, we'll put in 4-wheel drive while Daddy tell you won't get tuck. This 3-year-old's telling me how to drive. Well, this little cabin, it was a hard little road to get up to it. And I didn't know hardly anybody in town, then and everything. And someone, it was still about November or so, Frank woke me up one morning. He said, Linda, come out here and look. Went and looked, and it faced Shadow Mountain. Well, I said, what? He said, wait. Out from the mountain came this thing, and it started going like this. And then when it started getting like, it would shoot up. Well, we watched this for a week, and I said, Frank, don't you dare say anyone in town, they'll think we're nuts. Well, we called my mom up. She come and seen it. Frank's sister and her husband came up, and it was a UFO. Well, I was afraid for him to go to work because I thought the UFO was going to fly down and get Justin and I and take us away. Well, it come out. You tell that when down at the Chuck Hole.
Oh, we were having breakfast down at the Chuck Hole, and we walked out of it, and we looked up, and it was there. So we got Al and everybody in the Chuck Hole came up, and we could see it. It was a flying, it was something out there.
Yeah. Well, Peg Kramer had a house close to us, and she seen it, and it went right over her head. And then 2 teachers were cross-country skiing, and it went over their heads. So, but I didn't want him to tell anybody in this town. They would have tar and feathered us, maybe. Who knew? Well, then also at that little house, and I hope I don't offend anyone here, but the Jehovah Witnesses knocked on my door and scared me to death because no one ever knocked on our door. No one came up there. I invited them in and I was so happy to have company. I fixed them lunch, dessert. I almost locked the door because I was afraid they'd leave me. They finally begged, says, we've really got to go. I never seen them again. Oh, and then that spring, I was so excited. The snow was going to melt and everything. It was starting to melt. And I found out Gordon was going to be putting a water line in on the north side of the street. So I quick dressed Justin, and we come down and spent the whole day watching Gordon dig a line. That was big entertainment. Okay, where are we at now? That was the Sunset Motel. Still the Sunset. Ruby Estes, that was the Red Box. The Red Box. And Ruby made fresh dilly bread every morning, and she did fondues. But she could really bake. That dilly bread was so good. Oh yeah, well, those steps, they're gone, yeah.
It was the 81 steps to fine dining.
Yeah.
Oh, 81 steps to fine dining, and it was good dining. I worked there too.
You weren't there when the horses were pooping.
What's that?
You had to make sure you weren't there when the horses were pooping.
Oh, yeah.
It was very aromatic at times.
Yes. Okay, that was the town hall when we lived up here. And Ruby Estes was the town clerk then. And we just lived across the street because the Trinity Church is right next door. And we had a big St. Bernard. And she'd go over there and lay on the steps because she could greet everybody. And the dog catcher came by and he knocked on the door and he said, "Is this your dog?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "It should be chained." And I said, "I don't have a dog to chain." I said, "She's free." And he said, "Well, I'm going to take her." And I said, "Okay." He went to get her and Brandy goes, "Argh." And he goes to get her. Next time I come by, if that dog's loose, I'm taking it. He never came back. This is Frank's parents, Rose and Frank Appelhans. Frank and Gordon.
That's when you opened up the plumbing company in Granby, I think.
Yeah, we got it.
Oh, they opened up a shop in Granby that,
How about like how you used to call and to get numbers to call from Denver and.
Well, you couldn't call
Oh,
directly,
yeah,
you
yeah.
call the operator to get a line. And everything was long distance. Grand Lake was long distance from Granby. Even if you call the school, you're calling long distance. Winter Park was, Fraser was long distance, Kremlin was long, they all had their separate little
party lines too.
party lines. But to get to Denver, I had to call the operator and have them relay it to Denver to place my orders.
That's Travis. No, I'm gonna, I think it's the next.
Well, she chose that one.
That's Justin. Oh, well, I'll tell that after I see what's, well, that's the new owners of Grand Lake Plumbing. That's Chris and Travis. Oh, this is Grandma. Now I got a couple stories on her. Okay, Heidi? Well, years ago we had a club up here called the Music Club. And you didn't play an instrument, had nothing to do with music, but if you didn't bring an article on music, you had to pay 10 cents. Well, you went to somebody's house different every month. Well, when it come time to come to Grandma's house, we knew we weren't going to get any sugar, so everybody had crammed sugar and do their eating. And then go, because we figured we're going to have to eat healthy. That's why Grandma's 100 years old. Well, this jacket she has on, Wes and Marcia bought it for her because she was going to be the Grand Marshal for the parade. Well, the jacket, Grandma don't weigh nothing. Well, they had to put her on the horse and then put the jacket on her because the jacket weighed more than she did. Huh, Heidi? And this is her 100th birthday. And, you know, she always dressed fit to kill in her cowboy. And you know, when she lost everything in the fire, that still makes me want to cry. Because how many boots, Heidi, did she lose?
I counted at least 27 pairs.
Yeah. Because she always, you know, I remember, how old was she at your wedding? I think she was 90. She danced every dance. Every dance she danced. Yeah. Oh, and that's Santa Claus again. Okay, that's when we, oh God, I look horrible. That's when they signed over, we signed the plum company over to Travis and Melissa. Oh, that again? That, we've seen that.
Is that no way not to know?
Oh, well, oh, that's Bev Beal, and I think that's me.
We still have it.
Yeah, we still have that little sled. Okay, this is Doc Sirianni. He was, this is taken, Life magazine came up and took that picture, and I took it out of the, but when he delivered Travis, and when I went over there and started having labor pains, they put me in the labor room and no one's around, you know. Doc comes in and he has all of his stuff on. He said, Linda, let me know when you're ready. I'm going to take a nap out here on this gurney. Well, about a half hour later, I'm yelling, Doc, get in here. He comes in, he's going, no hurry, Linda, everybody's just calm down. Well, then we get in the delivery room and I have him and push her uncovered and I look in the door and everybody's staring in and I go, so I reach down and put the sheets up. Doc comes over. He said, Linda, you're still among friends. And I said, Doc, everybody's looking at me. He said, that's okay, they're just learning. Well, you know, when I had Justin in Lutheran Hospital in Wheat Ridge, everything, you know, monitors, everybody watched you, and after I delivered, we got steak and lobster. I mean, up here, I delivered and everybody disappeared. No one around, and I was really hungry. And so I walked down to the cafeteria, and of course it's closed. And I looked over the counter, the door was closed, but there was a counter. And I seen a big chocolate eclair. Oh. So I slid over that counter, grabbed that chocolate eclair, slid back, and there was a lady sitting at the table there. So I'm just ready to crunch this, and I look, here comes Doc Sirianni back. So I pushed that eclair in front of her, and I said, I can't have chocolate. Will you pretend that's yours? She said, sure, hon. Doc Sirianni comes in, walks over, gives her a hug, and says, hon, how you feeling? It was his wife. Well,
So that was in Kremlin.
in Kremlin,
Yeah.
yeah. And so I didn't get steak and lobster.
Did you get your?
I didn't even get to eat my eclair. Well, then when the next day, Gordon calls me at the hospital. He says, Linda, just a minute. He puts Justin on the phone, and Justin goes, Mom, I didn't want a baby brother. I wanted a litter of pups. Gordon put him up to that. So I get home, and I'm on the phone, and he's just a couple days old. And I hear him crying, but he wasn't hysterical, you know, and I'm trying to finish my conversation. And all of a sudden, here comes Justin, how he got him out of that crib. He comes walking down, He comes over and throws him in my lap. He said, "You wanted this kid, and I'll take care of him."